Good evening, wanderers of the unseen path. This is AM Radio Stories. My name is 11th Journey, and I'll be your guide through these fleeting waves. I almost didn't read tonight's letter, not because it frightened me, because I'm not sure the letter is finished doing what it's doing. It comes from a woman named Elizabeth. I'll let her explain. The letter reads, Dear 11th Journey,
I'm 92, former mystery writer, 26 novels. I know how to observe, how to document, and when something doesn't add up, something doesn't add up. I live alone in a cabin in Alaska. My husband Robert is 11 years dead. We were together 57 years. He was a park ranger, a man who came to this country as a boy, a German prisoner of war taken in by my family. He understood the forest with his hands. I understood things with words. Between us, we covered most of the territory. I stopped writing 8 years ago. I want that on record. I stopped, deliberately. The pen went down and it stayed down, until it didn't. I'm going to describe what's been happening in the order it happened. I'm going to be precise, because precision is all I have left that I trust. 3 months ago, dreams, a forest, my trees, spruce and birch, but wrong. No color, black and white, like a pencil rendering. Not dead, I want to stress that, not dead. More like something that was never alive in the way we mean alive, something that skipped that step. The dreams don't dissolve when I wake, they remain, not as memories, as presence, the way a sound remains in a room after it stops. Second, the trail, Robert's trail. He cleared it by hand over 30 summers. I've walked it 1,000 times. I know every distance by step count. Cabin to the creek, 412 steps. I counted last Tuesday. 401. I counted Wednesday, 401. The trail has not changed. I checked. No new growth, no washout, no shifting ground. 401 steps. 11 steps missing. I don't know where they went. I counted again this morning before writing this letter. 390. Third, the sounds. Under the wind on the trail. Scratching. I spent 2 weeks identifying it. Pencil on paper. Continuous. Rhythmic. The sound of someone drawing with intention. It's louder near the creek. It stops when I stop walking. It resumes when I resume. It is aware of me. Fourth, the notebook. 3 weeks ago, evening, fire low. I picked up a notebook I hadn't opened in 8 years. I intended to write a grocery list. Eggs, coffee, batteries for the radio. I wrote for 4 hours. I have no memory of the content while writing it. I remember sitting down. I remember looking up and the fire was embers and my hand was cramped. And the notebook was full. The handwriting is mine. I've compared it. Same letters, same slant. But the pressure is wrong. I press hard on downstrokes, always have. It's how I was taught. This writing doesn't press hard on downstrokes. Same hand, different pressure. As though something learned my handwriting, but not my habits. The content, a forest with no color, a man inside it, drawing, being drawn. Ash that enters the skin and changes what it touches. Footprints that shift shape. Journals that decompose into the ground they're written on. Someone, or something, that forgot how to leave and became indistinguishable from the place itself. I have never written anything like this. In 41 years, not once. It has happened every night since. I sit. The notebook opens. 4 hours pass. I look up. The pages are full. Fifth, the margins. I don't draw 11th journey. I have never drawn. Not as a child, not as a hobby. I do not draw. The margins of the notebooks have sketches in them. Small, precise. Trees without color. Done in the same ink as the writing. Same pen. My pen. I did not make them. My hand made them. Those are not the same thing. Sixth, last week I reread everything I'd written, all of it, and I found a pattern I did not put there. The man in the forest, his story repeats. Not identically. Each cycle is slightly different, slightly further along, but the structure is the same. He wakes, he searches, he finds himself, he forgets, he wakes. It's not a narrative, it's a signal, repeating, the way a distress signal repeats. I've been a mystery writer for 41 years. I know what a clue looks like. I know what misdirection looks like. And I know what a cry for help looks like. Whatever this is, whatever is writing through my hand and sketching in my margins and shortening my trail by 11 steps, it is not hunting me. It is not consuming me. It's in pain. I don't know what kind of pain has no body and no end. I don't know what suffers in a place where nothing can die. But I know suffering when I see it on the page, even when the page was written by something that doesn't have a face. And I think it reached for me, because I'm the only kind of thing that can understand what it's asking. Because I end. I don't know what it wants. I don't know if what it wants is something a mortal can give. I don't know if I'm being asked to help, or being used as a door, or simply being written the way it writes the forest into existence without consent. I sit down every night. The notebook opens. I let it come through, not because I'm brave, because I'm 92 years old, and I have been enough different people to know that the version of me that's writing these pages may not be a version of me at all. And I can't tell the difference anymore. I didn't notice until just now. Robert, 11 years dead. The trail, 11 steps short. Your name, 11th journey. I don't know what that means. I don't like that I noticed it. The notebooks are full, and the forest is in them, and the man is in the forest, and I am in the writing, and the writing is in my hand, and my hand is... That's what I need you to know. Yours, Elizabeth.
Dear Wanderers, I need to tell you something I have not said on this frequency before. I am unsettled. Not by the forest. I have heard of this forest. Another letter, another voice, a man who entered it and did not come out whole. That letter ended mid-word, as though he ran out of himself before he finished speaking. I accepted that as a story, terrible, but contained. Elizabeth's letter tells me it is not contained. The same black and white forest, the same scratching, the same ash, the same dissolution, arriving in the notebooks of a woman in Alaska who did not go looking for it. It came to her, through her walls, through her sleep, through her hand. The man entered willingly and was consumed. Elizabeth entered nothing. She sat by a fire with a grocery list, and now it writes through her. Sketches in her margins in ink from her own pen. And her trail, the trail her husband built, is 11 steps shorter than it was. She says it's in pain. She says the writing is a distress signal, a cry for help from something that cannot end and cannot stop, and has been repeating itself in a place where nothing fades. I don't know if she's right, but I know this. The man in the forest could not see what was happening to him. He dissolved in real time and called it progress. Elizabeth sees clearly. She documents. She counts her steps. She notices the pressure of her own handwriting. And that is what disturbs me. Because she also says she can no longer tell if the person writing those pages is her. Did you hear it, Wanderers? At the end of her letter, the way the sentences changed, the way the words began to loop. The forest is in them, and the man is in the forest, and she is in the writing. That was not Elizabeth's voice. I don't think Elizabeth wrote those last lines. Then who did? If something eternal and suffering is using her as a door, then who wrote this letter? Elizabeth? Or the thing that has learned to write like her, press like her, think like her? How would we know the difference? How would she? I read this letter 4 times tonight. Each time, the words were the same. Each time, what they meant shifted. I am reading it now for the 5th time, here, aloud, with you. And I am no longer certain who I am reading. And so, dear Wanderers, I have no reflection to offer tonight. Only Elizabeth's evidence, and a question I cannot answer. What does something that cannot die want from those of us who can? I will be here again, as I always am. Until then, pay attention to what your hands do when you're not watching. Count your steps. Check your margins. And if you find writing you don't remember writing, don't read it aloud. For the journey is never truly done.